We are now recording. This is the Ranked Choice Voting Committee. Commissioner Niles is the chair and will take over from here.
Hi, I want to welcome everybody to this, what I think is going to be a very brief meeting. It is election night, and I'm sure everybody is like getting ready to celebrate or follow the election closely. So it's just a real brief meeting. I don't have a lot to discuss with the committee. I did send out the PowerPoint of our presentation, and you can find that on the county website now. When you go to agendas and meetings, you'll see a link to it, and I encourage anybody that's interested in what we're proposing. All of our ballot language is there. It's a little overwhelming because it's contingent on this election, so you'll see we have options for everything. So so you'll see those there when you read them. Just realize that ultimately it will be one proposal, and it'll be and not the four that you see there. But so the presentation is there. So I have my committee here, and if you guys want to, I do have notes that go with the presentation. I can share that with the committee members just so they'll know what I'm going to be talking about. A lot of that mirrors what Dave O'Brien, who is the policy attorney for Represent Us, that helped us with our ballot language, and he's helped with like numerous throughout the country. He's nationally known and has worked on ballot language throughout the country. He put Utah's together, Alaska's together, everybody's ballot language together. So we are really lucky that we had him work on it with us. So if you want to take a peep at that you'll find that on the county website. The presentation, I did get a couple of questions from commissioners when I sent the presentation out, and one of them was around the STV, single transferable vote. And that I think I'm going to, and I was going to run that by you guys, I'm going to put like a one-pager together, like it's just as short and as sweet as possible. Simple to understand, and send it out tomorrow morning to commissioners, and then I'll be ready to answer questions about that as well. I did consult with Fairvote and like, oh, how should it, what would be the easiest way to explain it, the pros and cons and those kind of things. And I think the commissioner that reached out to me asked for like, what can you be ready to explain, like why this would be beneficial for the commission to consider. And so I'm going to take that question and I'm going to answer that one and be ready to do it, but then also have that little one pager. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that would help explain that?
Sure.
I do have the slide, but I don't think the slide really explained it adequately.
It may be a great FAQ, so we can get that off our table.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we're just checking those boxes, aren't we?
Yeah, I agree. The PowerPoint is a little overwhelming, so I think if there's any little pamphlet that helps.
I tried to do what I can. They wanted the ballot language, so I'm it is what it is. But I did you see, I took you guys' suggestions and I said, like, don't be overwhelmed by this. I have a slide saying that, this is not what you're ultimately going to see. And, and a lot of that ballot language, I know some of our commissioners will delve into that more than other commissioners. They instead some commissioners just are looking at the concept. And I think that's what we'll be presenting as the concept. Did anybody want to add something to the presentation tomorrow? Anthony, did you want to talk about anything?
No, I was actually going through all of them last night as I was gathering them all together, and so I think ours is one of the more informational ones at this point.
I know. And so as far as like commissioners' questions, and I'm sure that there'll be, I know I got two, but I'm sure there'll be questions. I want the committee members to feel free to, like, if you feel like you can answer a question, if somebody answers a question, ask a question, and feel free to answer that too. I don't really need to be the only one answering questions. And when I answer a question, I might say something like, does any of the rest of the subcommittee have anything to add to that? because I think that everybody would like to hear a little bit about from your input as well. So that's going to be my plan on how I'm going to do it. But hopefully we get a lot of good questions, and some of this sparked a little interest. And the other question that a commissioner asked me, they just asked me to please be prepared to give a follow-up on San Juan, on whether it's going to be in the ballot, and I was able to do that. San Juan County actually voted on the same night that we had our last commission meeting to put it on their ballot. So it will be on the San Juan County 2022 ballot, and that's a for sure thing. And
22?
22, yes, 22.
Not 21.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's right. It'd be too soon.
Yeah. I know. That would be like a miracle. It's like, how do you do that?
No, the auditor would have a freak out on that.
I know. You know what, San Juan, they have a little bit different of a process. They have like a little process that they go through with their council. Like they vote to put things on the ballot, and then they take it to their city council, and they just tell them about it. And so it's a little bit different than what we do here, but it will be on that ballot, and that's exciting news. And so we can be twinsies. I think Anthony called us twinsies last time. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how they get the ballots to the main counting center. Do they float their ballots or what?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't. I've never been to San Juan, so I don't.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I need to do that.
Oh, yes. It's like being I think like another piece of the world.
Yeah.
And yeah,
What was really interesting is, I can totally see, given the fact that they do live on water, and that was and on their 2021 ballot, they have a climate commission, citizens climate commission, that for their county, which I'm thinking, wow, that's kind of a good idea.
They're very
maybe
environmentally aware up at San Juan. They tend to be the leader of the state in that, partly due to the fact that they they live on an island, and that
I know, right?
makes it
Yeah.
really think
Need to
about
be a
it.
little more self-sufficient.
Yeah.
But maybe that's something for our next charter review commissioners.
Yeah.
To
It's expensive with the food up there, so they have to really grow their own stuff.
Nice. Okay, well, that's really all I wanted to talk about. See if you guys had anything last minute, suggestions for me for the presentation. I'm not going to read ballot language. That's not my plan. I just want everybody to see it. I just have maybe 2 or 3 sentences. I know it looks like a lot, 2 or 3, sentences, explanatory sentences. I might have to spend a little bit more time on SVT, but STD. Oh, I'm such a nurse. SVT. That's rapid heart rate. But so I won't be reading that. So though it looks like it's a big presentation, it's not going to be as long as it looks on paper. I'll just be kind of flipping through that and just saying a few words about each slide and just explaining what the slide actually is. Like, this is if we have all nonpartisans. This is if we have this, that kind of thing. So
are we going to have a meeting next week to talk more about which one is most likely to be what direction we need to be going, and then start putting together frequently asked questions about that one?
That sounds like a great idea. I do
Okay.
have a couple of
I think we're set up. I'll have to
right.
double check.
I do
Schedule.
have a couple pages of FAQs that I should probably send out to you guys next week. And they are not advocacy FAQs. These are FAQs that were taken from elections offices. So they're not trying to sell you on ranked choice voting. They're just explaining it. So I took some from San Francisco. I took some from Utah, and I kind of put something together, which are just simple explanations about this is what ranked choice voting is. And I'll share those with you guys over the weekend after we get through the selection. And but I think it's a great idea to meet and go through that, and then you guys can talk about it, because I guess we need to kind of talk about how we're going to present like whatever one is decided, like if we're all nonpartisan, are we gonna, we are, you know, there are some questions about like, are we going to ask all, you know, have a truly ranked choice voting election where we don't have a primary and it just goes right to the general, or are we gonna still, so, because I think there were some questions with the commissioners about that, about whether or not we would still be doing top two or not doing top two. And but you know, that would be a decision for the entire commission to make, you know, or and at least we can have our recommendations. But yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
So next meeting will be fun because we'll have something like, wow, coming ready.
I got a hunch unless something's really tight, and there may be some that are tight, that we'll know majority of what's happening and can move forward.
You think
Yeah, in a
so?
week out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will defer to your experience here,
It
Commissioner Lasher.
you know, this one's going to be difficult to tell because there's been partisanship that's been thrown in the mix.
Yeah.
Um, there hasn't been a lot of time to explain things. I guess maybe my announcement or take on this for this committee and others, that we need to seriously consider um, if measures that didn't pass had at least, let's say, 45% of the vote, that we should really seriously consider putting them back on the ballot for 22. I think we would have a better time of explaining um, the amendments and the purpose of those amendments. Uh, we had a very short window to do it. We really didn't have a lot of people helping in the yes campaign, and we didn't have the time. We have almost a full year to do that uh, for not only the 22 measures, but also anything that fell off the table tonight.
That'll be interesting to talk about at the commission meeting. I do want to tell you that I was talking to someone. We're taking us back to ranked choice voting. I was talking about someone about, you know, going, oh, okay, now how do I, you know, like some of the concerns that were brought up, like if we lose, if ranked choice voting doesn't pass, does that make it harder to pass before? And it was really interesting because I had somebody that, like, you know, worked as a freeholder, and they go, you know, it took 3 times for the freeholders to put the charter together. And if the freeholders, you know, gave up after the first time, then we would not be sitting here with a home rule charter. So it's pretty inspirational, and they kind of set the tone, like, um, doesn't mean it's, done if ranked choice voting doesn't pass in 2022. And maybe somebody will put it back on the ballot in 2023, 24, you know what? So
Well, if they did, it has to be an initiative, or the
I know,
council has to do it.
I know,
Otherwise,
I was just
it'll
making a
be
point.
10 years from now.
Yeah, I
If
was just
the
making a point. But
Yeah,
um, that, you know, we can at least try. So
yeah,
we do what we can.
yes, and that's
So
all we could do. We have the opportunity now to present it to the voters, and hopefully they make wise choices in um,
okay.
what goes on. But I know a lot of people. I've had a few people call, and um, if they read the voters pamphlet, I think they'll be okay. But if they don't, and they're taking off of somebody else's opinion, then things could get squirrely. So
Okay,
we'll
I'm gonna if we don't have anything more to talk about with the ranked choice voting subcommittee, so does that sound like a plan? A one pager for tomorrow? Send it out. I'll send it out by noon. Is that enough time, Anthony? You think?
Well,
Yeah.
since I may or may not be able to do commission work during my lunch break, so
No, but I can send it out. I can. It'll be like what I'm talking about. A couple paragraphs. Like really kind of tells some pros and cons. But if I send it to Tina, she can put it in the documents as
yeah,
well. Okay, I'll do that. I'll send it to Tina and she can put it with the documents as well, and that'll be available online. And then hopefully people will get a chance to read it. So we'll do that. And anything else about the presentation that you want me to keep it brief, keep it concise, and that's it? Yeah. Okay, with that, and
You want me to turn off the recording?
well, I'm going to go.
Adjourn
Let me
the meeting?
adjourn this meeting of the Ranked Choice Voting Subcommittee, and we hope to see everybody tomorrow at the commission meeting when we present our proposals for ranked choice voting. Thank you very much, and have a great election night.